Hey guys, Dave here, and I want to talk to you for just a second about one of the biggest problems facing marriages today, and that is adultery. And I don't know if you've noticed, but it's rampant, and it's also kind of being romanticized by our culture. I mean, there's even a new show out right now called Mistresses, and just everywhere you look, it seems like that whole idea is being seen as something that's okay. But really, having an affair, the way I see it, it's kind of like eating Taco Bell at midnight. Might sound like a good idea in the moment, might sound enticing or appetizing in the moment, but you will always regret it later. And with Taco Bell, of course, all you regret is some indigestion the next day. But with adultery, the effects are negative and they are lifelong, and they will impact not only you, but they will impact everyone that's close to you, including your spouse, yourself, your children, in ways that you can't even imagine right now. And that's part of what makes it so dangerous, is in the moment, you might think it's not that big a deal. You're tiptoeing down a path that doesn't even seem that dangerous. But affairs don't start in the bedroom. You don't just automatically end up in a hotel room with somebody. They start in the mind with a lot of little poor choices leading up to that. They can start with flirtatious text messages, hanging out a little too long at the water cooler with someone, sending some Facebook messages back and forth with someone that you'd never want your spouse to see. And the moment you start having a conversation with somebody that you would not be comfortable with your spouse knowing about, then you're wrong. And really, it doesn't matter what your spouse is doing or is not doing, because we often justify, oh, well, if you knew what they did or how they treated me, then you would see that this is okay. It's not okay. And I'm not justifying your spouse's behavior if it's wrong, but there's nothing they could do that makes you having an affair okay. And maybe your friends won't tell you that, but as someone who just wants to tell you the truth from God's Word, it is wrong, it is dangerous, and nothing good is going to come out of it. You know, there's a story in the Bible about a guy named Esau who sold his entire birthright, his whole future basically, because he was starving one day and sold everything he had for a bowl of soup. And the Bible looks at him as one of the biggest fools in all of history. But I see people doing that same thing all the time, except it's not a cup of soup they're craving, it's an affair. And they will literally sell out their future, their hopes, their dreams, their marriage, their family for a fling. And it is simply not worth it. So if you're heading down that path, stop. Stop, cut off all contact with that person, and make things right with your spouse. If you've already done that, if you're already caught up in that, then stop where you are and turn back, and with everything you've got, work to make it right. Because an affair never leads anywhere positive. It's going to erode trust in every relationship you'll have in this point forward. It's going to have negative consequences that I can't even begin to get into here, but it's a guy who's in the trenches dealing with people every day who are in that mistake or trying to recover from it. Let me just beg you to never make that mistake in the first place. If you do, there's still hope, but it's so much better to not make it. So do whatever you need to do to protect your marriage and yourself from adultery. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. For more resources, I encourage you to visit my site at davewillis.org. God bless you guys.